when Mr. Deepak asked me to talk something about partners, I was wondering what to talk. Then I thought, let me talk about what all the reforms is going on in India and its impact on the partners and the opportunities. So I am trying to link it to the best of my knowledge. Probably let us see how exactly you take it. If you look into the macroeconomic indicators today, in terms of inflation, if you see, it is roughly around 4 to 6%. The GDP growth is roughly around 7.5%. And if you look into the fiscal deficit, it is almost 4%. This year we are planning to touch around 3.5%. Current account deficit is also almost 1.4%. It's coming down every now and then. Our rupee is more or less going up. In the macro economy, if you see, it's a fantastic now. That shows the country is moving in the right direction, and that shows we are having a lot of good opportunities in the coming years. Okay. And in terms of foreign exchange reserves, we have more than $370 billion. So which means moving forward, we can expect better days. Now, how exactly, what are the reforms being implemented in India? Let us have a glimpse of it. One is GST, which we are going to discuss. This is the mother of all reforms, I can tell you. When we started our manufacturing in 1994, we were thinking, we need to set up a manufacturing plant in India so that we can cater to our clients in India. But when we made our calculation to manufacture and sell it, it really did not make any sense for us to manufacture it here, because if it imports, and it would have been more cost effective. So we took a decision not to manufacture anything, but then we thought, if we don't manufacture here, we cannot build skills with the people. So finally we decided, yes, we will manufacture it here. What we manufacture, we will not sell, and what we sell, we don't manufacture. So that was the strategy we took. And unfortunately in India, what happens is normally when we make business strategies, we look into the competition, we look into the market opportunities, we look into every other aspect. But here in India, you need to look into all the sales tax issues, excise issues, government issues to make a strategy. It's unique. But having said that, now the goods and services tax is being implemented. So we have one country, one rule, and it makes our life much simpler. Make our life, our distributors' life, our value-added resellers' life, it is a very simple tool. For example, as far as the manufacturer like us, we have export ESDPs manufacturing units, and we have excise units. Now whatever inventory we have in one unit, we cannot use it into other. You name the problem, we have it. So with this GST coming in, we feel the implementation, everything will be much simpler, and we can cater to our customers better. It's efficient, productivity will increase, and we are seriously looking forward to this. For example, our distributors today, whether it's Ingram, Redington, all these people, almost 30 to 40 warehouses they have across. We don't require those many warehouses. We can consolidate everywhere. For example, if they stock some materials in Bangalore, if the same requirement is in Mumbai, they cannot do it because they would have already paid the sales tax here. And so many issues we used to face, but I'm sure with the goods and service taxes coming in, we have a fantastic opportunity, and we feel that approximately 1.5% to 2% increase in GDP growth can be achieved by implementation of these reforms. Of course, everybody knows Aadhaar. Almost 1 billion people are given Aadhaar. This Aadhaar is it's not a simple number. It is a very powerful number. With this number, everything can be linked. Every new services can be done. And with the innovation, we can do everything, whether it is a healthcare, whether it is a financial inclusion, whether it is an identification, or whether it is into a law and order kind of a situation. This Aadhaar number can be effectively utilized in each and every sphere. Government has introduced Jan Dhan Yojana. More than 240 million accounts have been created, which means there is a huge financial inclusion. In India, it is almost 90-95% is the cash economy. Once this is introduced, most of the things are all move through mobile. All the transaction is going to happen. More and more utilization of mobile. e-commerce and things like that. It can be, all these people, 200 million people will come into the limelight. And it is a tremendous opportunity for everyone. The whole consumption will go up, and at the same time, a lot of black money will move into white, and you can see in the medium and the long term, our rupee will be much better in terms of value. Of course, make in India. If you look into China model, China model is 70% export model and 30% local consumption. And India, 30% export and 70% is local consumption. We have got the local volume, and with the GST coming in, lot of infrastructure corridors are coming in, and it makes more sense for us to manufacture for the local needs. Once we become efficient, we can also export and address the export market. We see a tremendous opportunity here. And bankruptcy laws, these are another reform where closing an organization is much easier now. Your asset utilization can be done effectively. And black money bill, you can, already your foreign income declaration and all those things, schemes have been announced. And now the unaccounted money, if you have, that also probably by 30th September is the last date. You can also declare it. This is the last. Once, if you have, once these things are done, I think the government is going to take a lot of initiative in terms of curbing the corruption, curbing the black money. And with this government, we foresee the government will have more and more revenues coming in there. And all the allocation of e-auction, with the e-auction, allocation of all the natural resources are on e-auction, which means no discriminatory powers now, discretion with the politicians or bureaucrats. That will help us in terms of increasing the coffers of the government. Government also has liberalized FDI policy, aerospace and defense, and pharma and other sectors, so that you can expect a lot of foreign direct investment coming in. So with all these things, what is there for you and us? So that's the most important thing we need to see for especially people, resellers, wars, and manufacturers or vendors. One is when the government has more and more money. If you see the fiscal deficit this year, it will be around 3.5%. Maybe over a period of time, if the same performance continues, I foresee the country will have a surplus economy. Probably the government of India will restrict at 3%, and once we reach at 3%, inflation is under control, interest rates will come down, and once the interest rate comes down, whatever the surplus money what government has, they will take more and more loans, borrowings, and that money they will put into infrastructure. You can expect a lot of infrastructure development in railways, in infrastructure corridors. There are all, if you see in Mumbai, Delhi, infrastructure corridor is coming up. A lot of Japanese companies, a lot of companies are going to invest in terms of manufacturing. Mumbai, Bangalore infrastructure corridors, and Bangalore, Chennai, so many infrastructure corridors are coming in, which means a lot of connectivity products, lot of IT products are required here, and lot of job creation is going to happen in the coming years. And the manufacturing policy, as I told you, we have a local demand. For the local demand with the local manufacturing strategy, again there is a huge opportunities across verticals. IT enabled services, most of these services are looking outside India all these years. Most of the IT companies are exporting. For the first time, you can expect a lot of local requirement coming in here. And more and more transactions, more and more like Aadhaar, Jan Dhan and all those things, more and more e-commerce, more and more transactions, results in more and more data centers. Once you have more and more data centers, there will be a lot of disaster recovery centers. So there are a lot of huge opportunities there for people like you in terms of serving those customers. Of course, banking and e-commerce, the opportunities. The Reserve Bank of India is going to give a lot of licenses to most of the smaller banks, and that also a lot of IT opportunities are there. Hospitality and pharma and other things, again, opportunities are there. So, having said that, we have not solved all the problems. We are still fixing the problems. Still, reforms is a continuous affair, and it will take another 5-10 years. Primarily, labor reforms we may have to do, land reforms we may have to do. with all these reforms coming in, we see a tremendous improvement in terms of demand, in terms of consumption, in terms of ease of doing business, which will definitely help us in terms of growing the economy to double digit. We can expect at least in the next 3 to 5 years the economy grow in double digits. So these are all some of the CEOs have commented about India's growth, which is generally the mood is everywhere it's positive. So let us be very optimistic. If we are optimistic, we can build an aeroplane. If we are pessimistic, we can build a parachute. So I leave the decision to you. Thank you.